He's VB and he lives in Perth, making super videos for all his work. His channel is great, he's a good mate with Beryl, a feral, so don't hesitate.
G'day beer lovers, it's your old mate again here, VB Ed. Throughout recorded history, we've always had these people whose fucking job it is to toil with the land and to grow food for the rest of us. You know, once upon a time, we called these people slaves, okay? Then as we became more and more civilised, they became known as peasants. And now the modern term for these people is farmers. Farmers work their fucking guts out to grow food for the rest of us. And we all live in these comfortable lives in the cities and the towns of Australia. And these farmers devote their sorry lives working hard for the fucking city people for very little reward. And the times haven't fucking changed, okay? There is no fucking money in farming. Once you become a farmer, there's no fucking escape. You're trapped by fucking debt, you know. Once you get into debt, you lose all your freedom, you know. Debt keeps the farmers on the land. Now the government of Australia, for political reasons and for political purposes, pretends that it tries to keep the farmers on the fucking land. They pretend that they care, you know. When things get really tough, the fucking government offers financial assistance loans with concessional interest rates. It means low interest rates. But the government takes out security on these loans, these emergency loans, okay? And hardly anyone qualifies for these fucking loans because nearly all farmers have no security to offer because they're already fully mortgaged up to their eyeballs with other financial institutions, with other loans, you know? Just a mountain of debt. And this thing about government assistance is a fucking joke, you know? You know, you're probably saying to yourself right now, who the fuck am I? You know, what authority do I have to speak about the farming industry? I grew up in a small rural town in Western Australia called Merredin, population 3,500. And I lived there for the first 18 years of my life. The main industries of Merredin are wheat, sheep, pigs, and recently wind farming. My father had a farm machinery manufacturing business in the town. He manufactured grain cleaning machines, and he made these machines for over 30 years. We also owned 2,000 acres of land which we share farmed. Another farmer provided his labour and his equipment, and we provided the land and we shared the fertiliser and seed costs. And then we split the revenue 50-50. During the time in Merredin there were many droughts and there were many lean years where my dad hardly sold any of his machines and he tried to avoid retrenching any of his 15 staff. When you buy food in the shop, only about 15% of the purchase price goes to the actual grower or the farmer. The other fucking 85% is taken up by the transport companies and the fucking supermarkets. The farmers are fucking screwed, big time. You know, look, I don't mind paying a high price for food, as long as most of the money goes to the fucking farmer. You know, that's my attitude. You know, with such low reward for their efforts, you know, they're never able to get themselves out of debt. It becomes a fucking hopeless situation. Whenever a farmer has a good year, instead of getting rid of this bloody debt, most farmers actually spend the excess money on new equipment. Okay? And when there is a fucking drought in Australia, I tell you what, depression and suicide jumps dramatically amongst the farming community and the rural community in general in Australia. We have one of the highest rural suicide rates in the world, and that is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. Now, farmers and small country towns do not have access to mental health services and support groups that people in the cities do. Okay, that's one of the reasons why there's a high suicide rate. Sometimes droughts last for several years, or food prices collapse. And a farmer could go several years without any income coming in at all. How do you reckon these poor bastards feel when this happens? How do they support their families? Now, Australia, which is a food producer, imports a lot of food from other countries, which is cheaper than the locally grown food. You know, again, this is another stab in the back for farmers. You know, in a lot of fruit growing areas of Australia, farmers are actually burning their orchards as there's no money in growing fruit anymore. And this is a fucking tragedy. Why the hell would anyone want to be a farmer? It's a fucking monk's profession. Most farmers are born as farmers, and I guess this is who becomes a farmer. You know, I cannot see why a city dweller with a comfortable life, a good income, would want to give all that away to become a fucking farmer. I think the days of these small land-owning farmers is over. That's my opinion. On next week's rant, I'm going to be ranting about charity collectors, or another term for them, chuggers. Some people call them chunts, because they're fucking annoying people, okay? They just annoy the crap out of you. I'm going to be ranting about that next week. See you next week.